So, I was at a party as a graduate student in the States at Princeton, and I was not having fun. I would rather say very. So anyway, at some point, I started a conversation with a person whose presence was familiar to me from walking around campus. I had never talked to him before. So he was Persian, Iranian, and I don't recall how the conversation we started to enter got to this point. I recall he was highly aggressive. So he started, I think almost immediately after we started chatting and introduced myself. So he started making. So basically, he told me that as Greece repelled Persians' invasion, like the 300 story, like 2500 years ago, it was an insignificant thing for the huge and vast Persian Empire. And he drew a parallel with a very thorny subject for modern American culture, the Vietnam War. He said that it was insignificant, and it was as insignificant it was for the United States to have been repelled by Vietnam in conquering the country, in a sense. So I disengaged from the conversation. I didn't want to enter such a debate or argument. But then I thought what he was talking about didn't make sense. He said it would have been, as I thought, a parallel thing if the United States had been repelled, indeed, which is what happened, and then Vietnam would have done a counterattack to conquer the United States and succeeded. So Alexander, according to my flatmate at that point, did invade Persia to take revenge for that thing. So it hadn't been crystallized in my mind before. It makes sense. So the Greeks had tried to regain control of Asia Minor from the Persians and to indeed take revenge. I recall from the history books like Athens had tried that, but Athens, just like a small city state against a vast empire, wasn't able to do much. But indeed, Alexander did his campaign. By the way, I should point out this lineage of great intellects in ancient Greece. So basically, Alexander's tutor was Aristotle. Aristotle had studied in the academy, Plato's school, and Plato's mentor, in a sense, or advisor, was Socrates. So, so Socrates were around the time. Maybe I don't have that good of a knowledge. So you see the point. There is a very big institutional, in a very broad definition of the term, conventional habit of humans to think that after a certain period, memory has every right or should be obliged to fade, which is wrong. It doesn't happen anyway, so just accepting the fact that this thing doesn't happen will be much better for everyone. so people would feel more comfortable diving into their past to think what should happen. So I think nations should do that. Try to discuss their past. Try to figure out how to. I have some things in my mind that are deep. I want to talk about. So I do have in my mind right now Tiestos in my memory. It's a very nice song, and it's associated in my mind with two things. So far, at this point, all I want to say is that the internet is a conceptualization of humans as they have a presence there using avatars. And liking someone like a person that you have been acquainted with their through their presence in various social media, etc., is a summary of that person, whereas a physical presence is completely a different story. So information as it passes through the internet and gets summarized using various digital interfaces does not capture reality perfectly. It's a good idea, a hint, a hash, a summary of reality. So, and it's important it's there, but physical presence is so even I recall trying to watch a talk in Google Talks on the interaction of minds or brains as they are close. Well, I think brains can interact even from far, but it's highly risky business right now to think that this can happen. But anyway, there's even experimental scientific work on this. That's my point. On the other hand, from the summary of from the conceptualization you get through the internet, you can extrapolate a reality because this is captured by person's mind which has imagination and not in a romantic sense, in a imagination in a very practical sense. You can extrapolate what you see from the internet. And in fact, computers are not as digital as one may want to think they are. But this is a highly theoretical and highly abstract subject I don't want to get into right now. But I will just say that it is not unlikely that computers can be significantly more sophisticated in capabilities without human intervention. They can extrapolate a continuous world using a digital continuous extrapolation of the digital reality. So it seems like I'm talking two different subjects. They are not so different. So what is the connection? There are many, but try to extrapolate it. I don't know.